So my father-in-law's 2000 Toyota Avalon, 2007, it's like 14 years old. It's really good shape. It only has 25,000 miles. I decided to do some detailing, and I was going to clean this up. You know, it's got a little bit of rust here and there. You know, it's right in the front of the engine where you can see it. You know, so I was going to clean it up, you know, spray paint it. You know, make it look pretty, a little detailing, you know, no big deal. Well, it turned out to be a big deal. I couldn't get the O2 sensor out. I thought, what the heck, why am I fighting that thing? Why is it so tough to get out? I don't understand it. It's really weird. It just didn't make any sense, you know. It's like this car has had zero work done to it. And so it just should have came right out. I thought, oh, maybe it's rusty because, you know, it's like 14 years old or something. No, something's goofing up there, either installed incorrectly at the factory, but it was working fine. I looked at the threads outside and they seemed to be fine. But man, I tell you, this sensor got all mauled up. You know, I had my special tool to take it out with, and it just was tough all the way around. I had to go back and forth, and a little bit, and then back and forth, and a little bit. It was just crazy. And that's what it looked like when it came out. Now, I'm not saying I did that, but here it is in my hand, taking it out of the car. So, this video is now going to be a two-part. I'm going to paint this up, do a little detailing, clean it up a little bit, and I'm going to fix this O2 sensor, and it's going to require a tap and die. This is 18 millimeter by 1.5 threads, even though I don't even know if this has a, yeah, it's a 7/8 socket to take it out. See, it's a special O2 socket. You know, so anyway, so I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get those thread cleaners in here. I'm going to film that and show you how to clean up an O2 sensor, because these things are expensive. Now, I didn't price this one out. It's 14 years old, you know, but it still could be $100. Easy. Some of them are even more than that on these newer cars. It's insane. So anyhow, now we have a two-part video, a little auto detailing, spray paint, and O2 sensor repair. So to the detailing, one of the nuts was kind of messed up there and rusted. It was the lower one. This went on the car like this, and this lower one here was kind of messed up. That's where the O2 sensor goes. That's why I had to take it out. I mean, I could have just taped it up and spray painted in the car, but yeah, I didn't want to overspray and kind of wanted to do a good job. So anyway, that's the whole reason for this. So I'm going to clean up the nuts and bolts. I'm going to clean up this heat shield and paint it. Okay, there we go. All wire brushed up, ready for paint. I put some nuts on there temporarily just to stand them up when I hit them with paint, so I can go all the way around and clean them up, because the threads I'm going to lubricate with some N5000 anti-seize. So now I'll clean up the heat shield here, get some of that rust off of there. Alright, you may have noticed I had my Dremel, actually it's my Milwaukee tool, on at a very low speed. I found that with wire brushes, if you have it on high speed, those wire brush pieces will just fly everywhere. They'll get in your clothes. It's just a real mess. They'll poke you. You'll be laying in bed going, ow, ow, ow. It's a wire brush stuck in you. So I just go real slow on the RPM and just clean up the tough spots here. Fun stuff. Okay, there we are, all prepped and ready to go. So actually I'm going to paint this outside, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. One very, very, very light coat, just an extremely light coat. Then I'll head back out there after about 10-20 minutes, do another coat, see how it looks, and then maybe hit it with a third coat. Depends. But the first coat, extremely light. Alright, so there's the hardware, and now let me go out and hit another coat on the heat shield. Okay, now we have the heat shield. No runs, hits, or errors, so feel pretty good about that. I mean, it's not super perfect. I've never been a painter, but anyway, still decent, happy. You know, you can't even see that side. That's going to be over top of the exhaust manifold. So, there we go. Okay, we have the heat shield in place, and as soon as the tap and die arrive, I'll fix the O2 sensor hole and sensor. So hopefully you can see in there pretty good, but the threads really aren't all that messed up. A little bit there at the beginning. I really don't know what the heck happened. Doesn't really matter. Needs to be repaired now. So as soon as the tap and die arrive, we'll get that. Okay, I have my O2 sensor tap and die. I'll use the die on the sensor itself, and I'll use this O2 sensor tap on the vehicle. And luckily the vehicle is not too bad, so this should go in fairly easily. And I will put some grease on there. Now, to grease it up does two things, and grease, not oil or tap threading liquid, is usually oil based, is because the grease will help capture the filings, and that will prevent them from like falling into the exhaust system, maybe getting into the catalytic converter. And I'm actually not worried about that, but still I'm gonna grease it up just to help prevent that from happening. Alright, so let's first start off with the O2 sensor and see if we can get this tap to redo our threads. Alright, so there's my before shot. Let's go set it up and clean it up. Alright, I cleaned up the threads. I'm a little worried about the major diameter, the actual thread peaks. Hopefully they'll get a good grip on the vehicle and be able to hold it in there tightly, get a good seal. It definitely cleaned up very easily. I was really surprised. I thought I'd have to fight all that galling, but it just cleaned right up. Went on there real easy, came off real easy, no problems. Okay, I have my tool, have my grease. I'm just going to put a little bit right here on the starting part, because as it works its way down, it'll spread the grease up. I don't need to grease the whole entire thing. As a matter of fact, looks like there's a plug on it, so I'm just going to take a little bit of grease and just hit on the threads here, like that. And any filings should stay in the grooves. Make sure I just touch the grooves a little bit. So, but as the grease is spread out, it'll go into the filing. It'll go into the grooves, and any filings should be caught. So let's see what happens. Alright, well, we have a breeze that might interfere with the microphone, and the tripod's not letting me get the camera down in there, so I'm just going to take some shots as I progress. So here is the opening. Let me get my tap started, and I'll show you that. Alright, there's the tap in place. I got a few threads started. I'm going to see if I can get an extension that'll keep me from working down in there by the radiator. Alright, looks like my extension's going to give me a nice shot, so let me get working on it. Okay, I really only see one large burr, so you can see some debris there. All I see is grease there. See a few filings there, and not too bad. That's pretty much the bulk of it. I drove it all the way in too, so, and you can see the grease is in the groove there, and you can also see the filings. So I'm pretty happy with this little tool. I do a quick wipe around the hole, make sure there's no grease there. Insert this by hand, tighten it with my tool, and hook up the electrical. There's also a wire wrap that goes on there. I'll do all that. Alright, this is so strange. I just fought it and fought it and fought it. It just would not line up. I couldn't get it going. And then just all of a sudden, I guess the threads lined up and it just went into place and just smoothly tightened down. I couldn't believe it. Very strange indeed. Okay, there's the electrical connection for the Precat O2 sensor on the left side. It's not difficult at all to get to. Let me plug that in. It only goes on one way. I heard it click. That's the end of that. Alright, I'll put on the wire loom clip. It's pretty cool. You just squeeze these two tabs to unlock it, and of course it just slides in place and clicks. Has a little place for the wire to sit up onto the hose. This goes over the radiator hose. So let me install that. Oh yeah, I just moved this guy out of the way. His little Phillips screw give me more room to put in the, I'm calling it a wire loom clamp. Alright, there's the clamp in place. Fun stuff. Okay, no tools in there. I'm going to close the hood, start the engine, make sure there's no check engine light, and then we'll be done. Alright, where's the check engine light? I'm just going to push the button. Fire this thing up. Oh, there we go. And, oh, the check engine light is right here. Let me turn this off here. Got enough problems without all that noise. So there's the check engine light. Alright, let me hit it. And I'll let it run for a minute and make sure the light doesn't come on, because it's going to take it a second to see if there's something wrong and go through the checks. And you know, the code could be anything. I don't know what a loose sensor code would be, because you know it's a leak, so it might say mass airflow sensor or something like that. You know, these codes drive me nuts sometimes. I've actually paid the shop to figure it out, and then I did the work, or if their labor rate was low enough, I just paid them. They had it in the shop, knew what it was, you know, for half-hour labor, fix it, you know, things like that. So I don't see it coming on. I would think it would come on pretty quickly if that thing was hissing. And like I said, it's windy outside, so you know, I could stick my ear down there and burn my finger as it heats up, but you know, no check engine light, problem solved. Thank you for watching.